A student learning a classical art form often comes across as dedicated, obedient, and hardworking. In short, what we might call chamat. Malavika Sarukkai, in her performance career of 50 years, has consistently inspired her audiences with groundbreaking choreographies, starting from the late 80s. As much as I can visualize her to have been a dedicated learner, it's hard for me to imagine her to have been a passive listener who unquestioningly listened and followed her gurus. Between the period post her Arangetram in 1972 and her first work in 1986, I asked Malaka if she recollects early impulses to nudge and broaden the boundaries of the traditional repertoire. Let's see what she has to say about it. You are watching The Arc of the Artist, Malavika Sarukkai, looking back at 5 decades of dancing through candid conversations with Karuna Sagari.
If I have to again go back to my time with Vadhyar, what used to even there excite me in his class was sometimes I would say, why don't you, he did Annamacharya's that Indarike Abhayambu. And it was a different piece. And I used to really like prompt and push him and say, please teach me something like that. So even there, I think I already started saying, Varnams, of course, I would do Nadanai Arithavasaki, Ananda Bhairavi Varnam, all those Varnams which are traditional and which are wonderful when you learn it and, in your teens and 20s when you're dancing it. But Appa Kuda, I used to be able to ask him these questions and he was always very, accepting. He knew that if I came to class, I would ask him some difficult questions like this, start me on something else, new choreography. But that, so I think that thing of working with dance in a different way was already starting with Vadhyar because he did pieces which were outside his sort of solid repertoire. So when I went to, when was that? In 1985, when I danced I was dancing solo at the Festival of India and USA, and I wanted an opening item, which was not a Pushpanjali, and I wanted something with jatis. And then he came up with this wonderful little piece, and of course he created a music called Jati Laya Saram. Jati Laya Saram, and he created with Ranjani, Sri Ranjani, and the Madri, some 2-3 ragams with Jati and Swaram. So he was also finding a new structure, which he could sort of work on with me as the dancer. So it already started there. Also, even then in say Indarike Abhayambu or the other pieces which he worked on, there was also this thing of saying, can we use Shundakattu for this, for storytelling? We were just trying these different elements, different textures of music and dance, what works together. And obviously, whatever he said more or less is what I did. I might have asked him some questions and he would have said, Ipudi Panna, we do it like this. So, but it was for me, I think now, like in retrospect, now I start talking to you, I think it's already like opening up possibilities and not only opening up, but just discovering that dance can say more. It's possible to have dance to actually express other things as well. And importantly, a style becomes a language. That is that's where you really shift. As long as, at least for me, as long as I look at it as a style, then I feel, yes, committed to the margam and all its beauty and all the places it took me to, in the sense, in the mind, in the body, in the spirit, all that. But after a point, when you recognize that this language which this movement which you're working with is a language, then it's like, oh my God, what else can I say? What else would I like to say? What else would I like to communicate with this audience? I have their attention for whatever time I have, but it's just the, what should I say? It's the exhilaration of discovering yourself, exploring possibilities, seeing movement in a different way. I mean, then and then a language is endless. The language is endless. And that's what keeps you going like over decades.
Right.
Because there's something to discover. So I think there are all these, shifts, but nothing would have been, I could not have dived into all this exploration if it wasn't for my mother, who stood by me, who was a creative spirit herself, who was courageous, who was not interested in being defined in a box. She never believed we should be sitting in a box and defining ourselves. A person who was devoted to dance, absolutely devoted.
Right.
And who believed that it was through dance that anybody could actually, if they wish to, could actually enter other worlds of I don't know, other zones, other worlds of transcendence. So for her, dance was the greatest gift anybody could get. Anybody. To be a dancer, to be actually able to dance, let the body dance, it was like her prayer.
Right.
So, and so I needed a person like her, because our discussions were also, all this could not have happened without discussions at home.
Absolutely.
The environment at home was, oh my God, it was always resounding to so many ideas and thoughts and questions and wonderment. Oh my God, could this be true? To be able to discover that in dance, to be able to discover something in literature, to be able to discover something in movement. So if it wasn't for that one person who walked the path with me.
That's right.
Yeah, she walked every step of the way.
For more content like this, please subscribe to the Kalavaahini YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon to be notified when we release a new video. Thank you.